So today the topic of is going to be around mixed reality. So now this is something that I personally I'm very excited about. It's a technology that is really interesting to me. So I'm really looking forward to presenting to you guys today what we have to show. We've got two guests with us today. We've got Luke Bottomley from Trimble. He's based in the UK. And we also have Pierre Henderson, who is representing Exodus Enterprises and GE Consulting Engineers. He's based in Johannesburg. And then there's myself. I'm Brent Godfrey. I am from OnPoint, SA, and I am based in Cape Town. So let's get going. Let's just have a quick look at our agenda. So I'm just going to do a brief introduction on the OnPoint webinar series. This is obviously our first one. So just want to let you know what to expect going forward, who we are as a company, who are Building Point, these people that are presenting to you. And then Luke Bottomley, he'll take you through Trimble's whole augmented mixed reality portfolio and also give us some insight into what's coming next in this space. We also have, then we're going to have the XR10 user case from Pierre Henderson. He's going to be speaking about how he's actually using the technology in his business, which is mainly, he works in sort of very time-critical construction and shutdown type operations on mines. And then I just want to finish off by showing you what the tech looks like in use, sort of how it's applied in a typical construction environment when integrating with things like your common data environments and other project management type workflows. So just to start at the top, the Optron Group, we are Trimble's regional partner. We've been supplying Trimble positioning solutions throughout Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, for 30 years. Probably best known for in geospatial, sort of the survey sector, for probably the people with the yellow boxes, the surveyors. There's also a SciTech division, which is the heavy civils, machine control, bulk earthworks, the machine automation, that type of thing. We also have an agricultural division, which looks at Trimble solutions in agriculture. And then we've got our division, who we'll be speaking today. That's the Building Point SA, and we represent the Trimble Buildings portfolio. So the Building Point, in that portfolio, we address architecture, we address structural engineers, and general contractors, and pretty much anybody and everybody in between that falls in that whole design, build, operate sort of cycle of construction. We've got a piece for everything under that banner. And just to look at what we're trying to achieve in this OnPoint series, if you look at sort of the solutions that we have, we've got all the techless structures for structural engineers, steel fabricators. We've got SketchUp for architects, interior fit-out, interior design, construction verification software, and site layout software with FieldInc. There's point cloud processing software with RealWorks, common data environments, collaboration software like Trimble Connect. And then there's the field solutions. We've got robotic total stations, GNSS receivers. We've got different types of a range of 3D laser scanners. And what we're going to be talking about today, of course, augmented reality and mixed reality. Instead of looking at each one of these products in isolation, what I'm trying to achieve is I want to showcase these as part of a solution by showing how they integrate with your existing infrastructure, how they integrate with each other, and when used together, how they can optimize workflows. So, and then through sort of better workflows, also it'll show how we can sort of collaborate. It'll talk how we can better collaborate. And I think Trimble explained sort of what I'm trying to achieve and sort of the picture in this sort of next video. And so it's a short, it's just a 1-minute clip.
What does it take to navigate change, to recognize industry barriers and push through them, unifying teams and technologies across the entire construction lifecycle? What does it take to have every stakeholder on the same page, whether or not they're ever in the same place, with the right data at the right time to drive the right decisions? It takes the power to deliver, to boost productivity, improve quality, to champion sustainability, connecting the people, the processes, and the data through every phase of a project. It takes absolute confidence from Trimble Connected Construction to embrace change and drive digital transformation, to root out inefficiencies and exploit opportunities, accelerating the pace of your success, no matter what the future holds. Trimble Connected Construction. Deliver with confidence.
That's what we're trying to achieve at sort of at Building Point, and that's the end of my sales pitch, if you like. I think we're now sort of ready to kick off with the good stuff. So I want to introduce our next speaker, who's going to be Luke Bottomley from Trimble. Luke's got 20 years of tech solutions experience with a focus on CAD, BIM visualization, and XR within the architecture, engineering, and construction, and also manufacturing industries. Currently, he's acting as the Trimble Buildings XR lead for Europe, Middle East, and Africa region, responsible for driving the channel across virtual reality, augmented reality, and the various mixed reality solutions. He's had previous experience in developing high-end VR solutions for luxury homes and interior design market. He's also worked in the Autodesk channel, helping fabricators and manufacturers embrace digitization. So he is extremely well qualified to be able to be sitting in front of us today and taking us through the mixed reality solutions. So Luke, if you are...
Thank you, Brent. Fantastic. Yeah, thanks for that great introduction and the generous kind of intro to myself. As mentioned, I look after our XR business portfolio for the region. So I thought just to kick things off, it would be worth actually taking a look at the Trimble mission statement. So reason I thought this would be relevant is that, you know, I can't really think of any Trimble solution that better represents this purpose. Trimble is transforming the way the world works by delivering products and services that connect the digital and physical worlds. So with our mixed reality tools, we're not only connecting the physical and digital worlds, but we're actually beginning to seamlessly merge digital project data with the physical site that surrounds us. So that's overlaid immersive content, which is in context with the site. So in terms of the problem that we're setting out to solve using these mixed reality tools, what we describe as the data disconnect. So huge amounts of time, effort, and ultimately money are invested at the design phase of a project in these highly detailed, coordinated 3D models representing the structure which is to be built. And very often when it comes to realizing that design intent on site, or the digital data investment, if you want to put it another way, teams are having to refer to two-dimensional data and interpret a 3D design from a flat drawing or screen in order to realize a three-dimensional structure. And unfortunately, of course, critical details get lost in translation, mistakes are made, and the financial impact of this, of course, not only a lack of return on that digital data investment, but of course there are downstream costs, ripping out, reworking, associated knock-on costs from delays to the program, downtime, etc. So by implementing Trimble Mixed Reality on site in the form of augmented reality via a smartphone or tablet, or mixed reality with our custom hard hat integrated wearable device, we're actually bridging this gap between office and field and ensuring that that investment in data is being realised throughout the project cycle. So not just during the coordination phase or construction, but actually through to handover, delivery, operation. And of course, this is maximising the value and the benefits of these data-rich, highly detailed designs. So a brief explanation of the Trimble Mixed Reality software portfolio. Trimble Connect is our cloud-based collaboration platform. It's a common data environment and allows sharing of project data in virtually any format for easy access to anyone connected with the project. So working from the left, Trimble Connect as standard can be deployed on desktop, web or mobile, and offers traditional 3D model viewing and BIM tools via a two-dimensional display. Connect AR enables one-to-one scale model viewing in context with project site via Android or iOS device, and is our entry point to mixed reality use on the construction site. And Connect MR is our ultimate visualization tool. So we're using Trimble's site-certified version of Microsoft HoloLens 2 to immerse the user with holographic data whilst keeping their hands free for on-site tasks such as assembly, installation, repair, and maintenance, for example. So the purpose of Trimble Connect is to democratize project data, making it accessible to any project stakeholder without the need for any dedicated or specialist hardware, software or training. Trimble Connect can be accessed on virtually any device, so mobile, tablet, browser, as well as VR, AR and MR visualization support. So this makes it versatile in that sense. And very importantly, Trimble Connect doesn't only support proprietary formats, but virtually any file type you're likely to encounter during a construction project, whether that be models, drawings, or even point cloud data. So moving on to Trimble Connect AR, this represents the easiest way to begin implementing mixed reality technology into your projects. It's a bring your own device setup, and essentially will run on what's already in your pocket. So for the operative on site, there is almost no learning curve. Loading and placing of models is as simple as scanning a QR code, which would typically be attached to a structural element of the building. Once the data is in place, the model layers can be navigated and isolated to optimize the visualization, and we use simple sliders to control things like model transparency and cross-section tools. So really the ability to explore the model at one-to-one scale in real time and in context represents a significant step change in effectiveness versus interpreting models or drawings using traditional. And essentially this app's been developed to focus on three specific workflows and phases of a project. At the pre-construction phase for coordination, for progress monitoring and verification during construction itself, and for QA/QC at the post-construction stage. Now, Trimble Connect MR, mixed reality, represents the ultimate way to take your design to the site. So the Trimble
I see Luke sorry, Luke, you were just frozen for a bit. It's fine if you can just backtrack a bit.
Yes, thank you. So apologies about that. So really the best way to think about Trimble Connect mixed reality is as the ultimate way to take your design to your site. It's heads up, it's hands free, it's an immersive visualization using holographic technology, and this gives the effect that the digital content is being merged sort of seeing almost simultaneously with your surroundings, putting sort of BIM data in thin air right at your fingertips. There are some remote collaboration possibilities with this device, which is where things get really exciting, as the user experience can be captured as video, or it can be streamed live to off-site stakeholders. And this opens up opportunities for things like remote commissioning, site walks, verification, reduced cost and improve safety by minimizing numbers on site. Now, being a head-mounted holographic display technology offers some advanced safety due to the user's vision not being distracted or obstructed, and also opens up additional use cases where work can be carried out simultaneously without the need to pause to go back to tablets or drawings to interpret what to do next. And in fact, we've seen off-site assembly of prefabricated modules and components as some of the biggest wins with the Trimble MR. So we have 4D sequencing functionality built into Trimble Connect, which means that we can basically create a one-to-one, step-by-step, three-dimensional assembly guide, basically eliminating further opportunities for errors when working with complex designs. So good time to talk about Trimble mixed reality hardware. So Trimble has partnered exclusively with Microsoft to develop the only site-certified solution for HoloLens 2 built specifically for the construction industry, the XR10. So if you're not familiar with HoloLens 2, this is a mixed reality headset, and it bundles a number of cutting-edge technologies, things like LiDAR, eye tracking, hand tracking, holographic waveguide displays to merge digital content with the user's physical surroundings, but crucially without disconnecting them from their environment or obstructing their view. So with the XR10, we've incorporated Microsoft's HoloLens 2 into a fully certified hard hat for use in safety-controlled environments, and the visor meets impact protection standards, so there's actually no need to wear additional eye protection in most environments. And the audio has been upgraded with a custom bone conduction headset for crystal clear sound, even when working in very noisy environments. So as part of the development of the XR10, we recognise this need to optimise the audio for construction purposes. So we partnered with Mobilus Labs to come up with a solution. So the Mobi One headset uses bone conduction technology, which is most likely not something you would have experienced before, but essentially what this means is it's a way of transmitting sound via bones in the skull, which means that if we're working in a very noisy environment and or with ear protection, you still get this crystal clear sound. And in the image, you can actually see how the Bluetooth receiver sits on the hard hat suspension, and the pad sits just behind the wearer's ears. Okay, so just very briefly before I wrap up, I thought we would take a look at what the what's coming next, what's the near future of mixed reality for Trimble. Now, in January this year, we announced Trimble Field Link mixed reality, and there's absolutely no way that you could have missed this. So we got tens of thousands of hits of this YouTube video, which is rolling right now. So Field Link mixed reality is fusing together the immersive BIM visualization of Trimble Connect MR and the speed and precision of robotic laser layout using a total station with Trimble Field Link. So with Field Link MR, we can achieve millimeter precision layout direct from model and drawing data, whilst providing the user with the greatest possible context and understanding of the design. And what you'll see happening in the video is that the operative is literally being guided using the mixed reality visualization as to where the next layout location is. So by combining the technologies, we're making these tasks even faster and easier for inexperienced operators to complete error-free. And this ultimately eliminates even more opportunities for mistakes and the possibility of incurring additional costs. And so that about wraps it up for me. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Luke. Thanks for presenting that to us. I must say that last video, that MR integrating with the total station is, yeah, to me that's phenomenal. I like to see the sort of the integration of this technology, and also my background being having spent the last 20 years on sort of construction sites and setting out and stuff. For me, it's not so much the look, yes, it's going to make you fast and it's going to be efficient. You have this sort of sunshine, sort of this beam just pointing you where you need to walk. There's no following a controller, and I mean, there's huge efficiencies just in that to actually just navigate you, and it's your workflow enhancement. But for me, it's, I mean, you've got to try really damn hard to make a mistake, don't you? I mean, you're sitting there and you've got your layout points, which are going to be verified by the model. You're not going to make a mistake by how we traditionally do it. You pick off a point, possibly you pick off the wrong side of a base, or you think you're setting out a center line, possibly it's not center line, but you've got your points verified by your model, and then you've got your models verified by your surroundings. So it means you haven't made a mistake with your setup. Everything is sort of verifying itself without you really needing to think. It's just visual. It's just there, and you got to. The only place you can make a mistake there is the communication. I suppose if you put a mark down on the floor, you don't communicate it with somebody else. But then you've got the AR app where there's somebody, they visualizing the same thing. They can scan a QR code and they'll see exactly what it is you've tried to communicate with the layout points on the floor. So it's phenomenal. I'm excited about this for that reason. You just so yeah. So I think thanks, Luke. I think next up is going to be Pierre. Pierre, I'm just going to hand over to you. You want to take control, and you want to present that.
Okay, great. Firstly, thanks, Brent, and thanks, Luke, for the opportunity. I appreciate it. And yes, let's dive straight into it. So just presenting myself, thanks for the nice presentation that you did about me, Brent, I appreciate it. We are basically Exodus Enterprises. We have obviously have a headset that we've been integrating quite substantially into our workflow at the moment. We work together with G&H Consulting Engineers that does a lot of the engineering and so on, and yeah, we have a close collaboration with them as well. Okay, so who are Exodus Enterprises? At Exodus Enterprises, our mission is to increase the efficiency in projects, shedding costly site hours by integrating the latest and greatest technologies in the world and combine these to reach historically unachievable timelines. Furthermore, our aim is to reduce the need for rework using in-depth planning and evaluation tools to assess and alleviate problems and rework on brownfields and greenfields projects alike. We believe that in Exodus Enterprises, with G&H Consulting Engineers, and the support we receive from Building Point SA, we can elevate the South African construction to a new era of efficiency and productivity. We believe the picture is 1,000 words, which I'm sure something a lot of people have heard before. And we believe a video is 1,000 words 30 times per second. But augmented reality is unparalleled by either, by connecting the two different sides and scenarios. We overlay reality with virtual reality and so doing achieve augmented reality or AR. It is our belief that augmented reality, and specifically the Trimble XR10 with all its advantages and unique features, is a new era and will change the focus of construction completely: mechanical, structural, hydraulic, pneumatic, civil, and electrical. Our current integrations include pre-model evaluation of demolitions on site. When something needs to be taken down, you need to see the problems that you can run into, the the clashes that you will have, and so on. And this is an extremely fantastic tool to evaluate that. On-site pre-construction model analysis for constructability, timescale, material, machine, and personnel access management. Now, this is a pre-construction model analysis, so you can basically see exactly what's going to go where accessibility, is there space to do certain things, that kind of thing. So that gives us that ability. Pre-construction analysis reports. From the previous point, we compile reports that are sent out via videos. As Luke has stipulated, that is quite easy to do. And then you can share the content with a lot of people and pick up problems before they come onto site. We do visual QC on reusables versus theoretical data. Now, reusables is when something needs to be reused in a project, and then we would overlay the model with the actual physical object and see where we have deviations. We can also do subterranean analysis using theoretical data and full project underground as-built analysis. So the way we do this is we would take a structural member, we'd use pre-recorded 3D structures of piping underground, and so we can show where services are running for later installations, that the service does not get damaged in installation or construction or building. In construction evaluation and analysis of installation accuracy, it is extremely easy because of the QR code system to overlay theoretical data with what's being installed currently and pick up problems in the middle of the project before you get to the end of the project and you run into big, costly timeline problems. We do post-construction QC and analysis reporting. So what we do there is, after we actually finish the whole project, we would go back and analyze the construction if it's done perfectly and if there are any problems that can arise from the way it's been constructed. Then remote assist is also a very important thing of the XR10 headset. Ground floor managers and workers can be guided by engineers that has site restrictions, be it age, be it health or anything like that. So we have the ability to obviously bring the experience back to site. For instance, you can have an engineer, just a normal worker, and the engineer guiding him in what to do, or to have the visual feedback and give feedback on what needs to happen next. And then what we also do is custom AR scenario development, creating a certain scenario for a certain need. As Luke has mentioned before as well, we do step-by-step installation instructions, say for piping installation, where it's very complex piping, because some of the projects you work on has different layers of piping. So you'd install the fittings first, and then the first layer and the layer that goes over it, and then the second layer and the third layer, until you have the complete waterline solution, for instance. Our core services in Exodus Enterprises, we do a full color 3D scanning of plants. We do surveying of points. We do georeferencing on large-scale scans, which obviously is a necessity. Remote server hosting of scans for streamlined round-the-clock access to scan data. And this is the service that you also do. Scanning, analysis, overlays, verification of theoretical data versus as-built, which is I mentioned earlier as well. And then 3D pipeline, structural, mechanical, electrical, and civil 3D modeling, as-built modeling, level of detail 200 to 500 as required. We do construction modifications and additions, and that's one thing with the Trimble Connect system and the XR10 headset really works extremely well. If you have an as-built, you start doing additions, you can run into problems very quickly. With the headset, it alleviates all these issues, all your clashes. You can visually see, and as Brent said, you actually have to be really stupid to make a mistake, because you can visually see where the problems are going to be. Then we do pipeline analysis. I'm busy with quite a large pipeline analysis from start to finish, where we use multiple QR codes to register and walk the pipeline and check accuracy using the QR codes. So we do complete BIM, BIM for integration with Microsoft projects, for instance, or we use we use all the major packages, and then we obviously link it and do your normal BIM 3 analysis. So we do upfront analysis of the project schedule and constructability reviews, whereas the project schedule gets changed, and as it changes, it's updated in 3D, and we present that and we make changes, and we pick up massive amounts of problems in project schedules before it actually gets signed off or baselined. We do 3D constructability reviews to make sure of the construction through the system. During demolition and installation, we do daily 3D baseline versus actuals, or plan versus actual, or also shift forecasting reporting. So we can forecast show in 3D in the next 3 days what has to happen, and we can basically update that on a daily or 2 daily basis. And then in construction, daily updates on projects. Project material movement planning and optimizing. We do access management, very important, when machines need to move where, what our access restrictions are, and daily material movement reports and forecasts. Now this is something that I just want to mention where the headsets really shine as well. For instance, we do a BIM for simulation of the material movement, and what you then do is you stand on the floor with a headset and you see the materials moving around you as constructed by the BIM 4 reports and directly linked to the schedule. So there's no room for error. You can plan your management, where your blocks are going to move, where your trucks are going to move, where all your equipment is going to move. Accuracy, and you don't have to worry about it. So you can alleviate a lot of problems, speed up your construction a lot by using this method for material management. This is just a typical MROS scenario, pipelines that we're talking about earlier, where we basically overlaid the model. You can see there's a discrepancy on the left-hand side of 430 millimeters between what that we picked up. Because the other thing that's absolutely fantastic is now, remember the reference point that we use to align this model is right on the column next to that, next to the area that you are working. So the level of accuracy is increased so much, because if you scan over a very long distance, you get deviations. Obviously, you use georeferencing to sort that out, but this just makes it so much easier to pick up problems where it may be a bit far from a georeference points. Thank you for the opportunity to present, and I hope this was learning for you.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Pierre. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm just going to put you on the spot a bit, if you don't mind. I see you've obviously been using this for a while. I know you've had the XR10. You've been using it on mines since near the end of last year, and you've tried it out on projects and things like that. Who in your use of the data, use of the technology, where do you see is the money saving, the biggest money saving going to happen? Have you come across is there a single scenario where you can say, this has happened, we've solved this problem, and we've possibly an estimate? What's your...
Yes. Well, using it correctly and using it with the QR codes close by and referencing close by, I believe you can eliminate 80 to 90% of your rework, because it is so close and it is so accurate. I mean, over a meter or 2 meters, you can't make a mistake. The pipelines I'm working on at the moment, the project is not completed yet, so to gather that data, I have to actually have a little bit more time. But it's immeasurable what it actually does for construction, and picking up problems before they happen, and picking up clashes where you wouldn't pick it up any other way. There's no other way to actually see the model perfectly on site, and to compare your theoretical data, which is obviously your 3D model, which goes obviously into your drawings and your construction, where's actually the core that it comes from. And combining that and connecting that with the actual reality. And the advantage, it's actually an unfair advantage in construction, I would say.
Okay. Who's taken to it the most? So you find it, I know what you do. We've been, you do a lot of the simulation, you do a lot of the planning, you do sort of the 4D simulations, you get involved in the programming. So you deal with quite a few different people on site. You get involved with the guys, executing the work on site. You get involved with the consultants. I know you go up and you chat to people at a high level at the mines and stuff as well. Who's kind of who's embracing the technologies? Have you noticed a specific feedback from people who have who do you think is going to, is it the mine who's going to sort of benefit the most, or is it the contractor? Is it who do you think is going to benefit the most from you using this the way you do on mines inside sort of these critical environments you're working in?
I think the benefit is actually through the board. The reason I'm saying that is because obviously if time is saved, it's saved through the whole scenario. So the company that's doing the work saves time. And because it makes it more efficient, it reduces the rework. And then from on your top level, obviously they're looking at time and money. So I mean, that's the name of the game. So I had extreme interest from the high level on it. They obviously wanted to see how it works, but they're not on site the whole time. So my main integration at the moment is with construction managers, because they are there, they are in the coal face, and they see what it does for them, and it makes them more confident of what they are doing, because you cannot make a mistake if it is used correctly.
Yeah, okay, well, thanks for that. I'm not going to barge you with too many more probing questions. We'll leave the questions to the end. Sorry, I just wanted to, I know you've had, obviously, I've seen a lot of Pierre's stuff and stuff that he's been working on, and seen sort of videos of what he's done, and it really is phenomenal what he's done. Obviously, working in mines and these type of environments, there's lots of non-disclosures and things like that. So to be able to show the footage from where he's working proves a bit tricky. But maybe in the next slot here, I will show you a bit more. You'll get a bit of an idea of what it looks like to actually utilize the technology, and let's see. So if we look at all this equipment we've just been speaking about, when I started, I said we're going to be covering augmented reality, mixed reality, but now I want to show you it as the solution. So yes, we've shown you take the data, you can view the 3D models, but what does it look like when you're actually working with it as part of your project? Where does it fit into your project cycle? Where does it fit into the workflow within your organization? So this is just a simple example. It's taken from, this is just one of our Durban office, our KZN office. And if I look at something, I call this sort of our 3D digital journey, if you like, the one that we're on. Typically, it usually starts with 3D laser scanning. This is one of the data from one of our 3D laser scanners. This is the interface with it. You scan, register, refine, export directly to a recap file from your scanner, which is a nice feature. Bring it into, if you're an Autodesk user, in this case, bring it into something like Revit. There's other formats that we can bring into ArchiCAD, we can bring into SketchUp, we can directly from the scanner. But anyway, you have your point cloud. You do your 3D model in your modeling package of choice, and then from there we can upload it to Trimble Connect. So Luke spoke about Trimble Connect being the common data environment that Trimble used. This is the online sort of platform you're looking at. That's just your Revit model in the online platform. Yeah, you can do clash detection, and you can, there's lots of project management tools you can do. Now, say, for example, we have a contractor who's now, he receives this model, he's on site, he's in Durban. He wants to, instead of going through his 2D drawings, he decides to have a look at it on his XR10, his HoloLens. So this is the view that from wearing the device, you'll see that mesh, that's the XR10 using, it's just sort of meshing its environment. And you can now interact with the model. He can pick it up. He's not looking at a 2D plan. He's got this 3D model that he's actually physically, he can pick it up, he can move it, you can stretch it, you can turn layers on and you can turn layers off. But the most powerful part of it is actually to visualize it in context, so in place, in context. So as Pierre said, that's where you see your clashes, that's where you start to find your problems. And it's as simple as walking up to and viewing a QR code that's been placed inside your model. You can walk straight away, things jump out at you that you can see where there's problems that shouldn't be there on site. What you saw in the last in Pierre's image that he had, you could take. He took measurements between sort of the virtual model and the reality. He measured that 410 60 millimeters. You can also take measurements between virtual and virtual. Take measurements between real and real. And you can also, so you can analyze what you're seeing as well. It's not just the visualization. You can interact with it in many ways. Now, this is the same technology, same model, also on Trimble Connect. You've uploaded your model to Trimble Connect. Now you want to view it. You're on your bring your own device. You want to use AR instead of, you haven't got a headset. This is that same view, looking at it from your mobile phone. So this is what you would see on your phone. You can place your model, use the same QR codes that the XR10 would use. So anybody on site with this would go up to, on their phone would go and scan a QR code. And then once the model's got its reference from that code, it's using the tech, all the tech that's on your phone, modern phones nowadays, to place the model. And that's what you can see. There's some little tools to be able to change the transparency between your of the model. You can also limit the distance that you see the model. You can take cross sections through the model. What's important now, we get to that part where we talk about communicating, collaborating, and using that. So from my phone, I can see there's an issue. That's not right. There's a pipe in front of the door. So I can create what's called a task, and I'm going to issue that to somebody, and I will call it a clash. I can give it a description and say what is this description of this task. I can give it a priority. I'm going to give it a type. I can give it a due by date, and I'll assign it to somebody, and somebody within my project team, and they will now, for example, they're a designer sitting in Cape Town. He's going to, inside his inbox, he's going to get a message and say a to-do, a job has been assigned to you. You can open up that to-do on Trimble Connect. You'll open it up and you'll be able to see all the information that you typed in, and you can start to then progress through this, communicate. You can come up with your solution. You can start, and then you can share that with the rest of the project team, and you can share it with groups. You can now add comments to it. You can decide, give it a percentage completion. You can assign it to somebody else, change the priorities, the normal type of things that you would expect from a common data environment, or some an RFI, RFQ, that type of that type of project management situation. So that's just what I just share, sort of how the integration. So you're not just buying a tool, looking at something to view models in 3D. There's a bigger picture of how you're going to use that. I mean, with the AR app, all that functionality, being able to manage projects with multiple members, and that's all included in within your app. It's all inside that. All inside that bundle. So it's not just the visualizing of the model, that AR and MR, it's how you use it. And there's so many different environments and different ways that you can use it to improve communication. And yeah, I think that sort of brings to an end what I have to what we have to share. Just before we get into the Q&A session, I just need to, if you guys do want to sort of follow Building Point, these are our social media channels: LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So that's our website. And if you have any questions related to any part of this presentation that we've had before, please feel free to get in contact with myself. Also, there's Pierre's contact details there. We can share those with you as well. So if you have any questions, please please ask. So let's go to let's see if there are any questions in our chat box, or if anybody would like to has any questions, please feel free to ask. So I'm just trying to. Okay, so we don't have any. No, we have a question. Yes, Chad.
Hi, Brent. Thanks for the invite, first of all. From my side, I just wanted to know cost-wise what's the pricing on like the equipment and also the software for the mixed reality part of Trimble Connect.
Yeah, look, it depends on how you want to structure it, how you want to, especially on the Trimble Connect side of things. If you're wanting to, it's scalable. So most of the functionality is for free for Trimble Connect. You can sign up for a free Trimble Connect account, and you can. On a project, you can invite your entire project team. They just need to be signed up and have a Trimble ID. So a lot of that project management functionality is free. For the AR app, we're looking. It's around. I think it's about 17,000 rands per year. With that, you'll get a business subscription to Trimble Connect, which means you can invite. You can have multiple projects, hundreds of users. It's great. And that's just with the AI app on your phone. The hardware side, you've got the XR10 itself. It's about just under 100,000, about 90,000 rand, and then the software subscription is about 30,000 rand per annum on the XR10. So that's sort of ballpark pricing of what we. But yeah, if you want any specific pricing, how can we integrate it into your, look at scalability, that type of thing. There are options.
Thanks so much, Brent.
Okay, doesn't look like we have any more questions. So just, I think, Pierre, a question for you. What do you think of the XR10 integration with that with the total station? I know you guys are looking at sort of layout type of thing. What's your take on that? You're on mute there, Pierre.
I think that is definitely the next step in construction. Bringing the accuracy of the total station, combining it with a headset, I think is light years ahead. I think that's going to be a complete game changer as well as the XR10 has been till now. I think that integration is really going to push it over the limit because, as you said earlier, to make a mistake becomes really difficult if you know what you're doing, that is. But but yes, it reduces the amount of human errors that is generated in projects, you know, by all different kinds of acts, different kinds of problems that can arise, you know, in a project, especially the high level of stress projects that we run, I mean, the short projects that has a lot of planning in there, you know what I'm saying? So I think we are working to have that kind of accuracy. We are dead sure that you can do, and you're integrating two different parts. So no longer do you have the separate part of surveying and the other part of modeling that you're trying to bring together. You're combining the two. So I think the synchronization of those two worlds, I think, is very important. As Luke has stipulated before, you know, I think one of the biggest issues is also, you know, when you're on a construction site, you're standing with a paper. Okay, firstly, your brain has to convert the 2D drawing to 3D and then compare it to site, you know. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't think, but you should free your mind up with the things that computers and your technology can't do yet, and so achieve the maximum efficiency in your construction environment. That does not help. I'm going to do a whole calculation of a balance sheet, okay, by writing on paper, if I can use a calculator to make it, you know, if the guy that uses a calculator is going to beat me hands down. And that is my belief in integration of the technology. What technology can do, you should use that technology to free up your brain to do the rest.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Pierre. I knew you'd like that one. I knew that that was something that was going to be right up your street. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. I see there are no more questions. So, just want to thank everybody for taking the time and coming to listen to this webinar. Thank you very much, Luke, from Trimble, for coming and joining us, and yourself, Pierre. So yeah, really appreciate all your input, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me to participate, and for everyone for listening.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you, Brent. Thank you, Luke, and thank you, everybody else.